Hi, Professor Park. I just want to introduce myself. My name is Shelby, and I would just love to say that so far I am thoroughly enjoying our class together. So, for this assignment, I chose option number 2, and the celebrity that I chose was Winona Ryder. And just so you know, I'll be referencing my iPad as we go through. So, the rise of Winona Ryder. Although Winona made her film debut in 1986, she didn't really gain a lot of popularity until 1988 when she did Tim Burton's Beetlejuice. After that, she was in Heathers in 1989. She also did Mermaids in 1990. That film didn't do amazing at the box office. However, she was able to snag a Golden Globe nomination from that performance. The Chicago Sun-Times said, Winona Ryder, in another one of her alienated outsider roles, generates real charisma. Time magazine said, to say Ryder was the it girl of the 90s is to understate her potency as an actress. So she wasn't your stereotypical blonde Hollywood star. She was sort of known for doing these roles that were a little bit quirky, a little bit dark, a little bit twisted. She then became engaged to none other than Johnny Depp while she was still a teenager. And they were instant tabloid magnets, and today I would say that they're considered total 90s icons. And then in the year 2000, she got a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and it seemed that she was living the life. Moving on to Winona Ryder's fall. In 2001, Winona was caught shoplifting over $5,000 worth of merchandise from Saks Fifth Avenue in Beverly Hills. She was also allegedly caught with syringes as well as drugs that she did not have a prescription for. However, she was not charged with that. She was, however, charged with grand theft, shoplifting, and vandalism. She was sentenced to 3 years probation, 480 hours of community service, and lots of money in fines and restitution to Saks Fifth Avenue. She was also court-ordered to attend psychological and drug counseling. So all of this didn't really roll over very well with the public. You know, at the time, she was living in a $3 million Beverly Hills mansion. So it sort of begged the question of the public to ask, you know, you're rich, you're famous, you dated Johnny Depp, why are you stealing from Saks Fifth Avenue? So Winona's reaction to all of this. Her first reaction was she completed her community service. She did her 480 hours. She was able to get her felony charges dropped down to misdemeanors. However, within the industry, she took a complete step back. She actually had some trouble working. For example, she was set to do a Woody Allen film alongside Robert Downey Jr. However, Woody Allen was having some difficulty getting them insured. For example, he had stated, the completion bonding companies would not bond this picture unless we could insure them, and I couldn't get insurance on them. So Ryder took a complete 4-year hiatus from the industry in 2001. And then after the 4 years, she began to do some very, very small independent stuff. But her first big screen role when she came back into the industry was all the way in 2010, so 9 years later. And she had a very relatively small role in Darren Aronofsky's Black Swan, where she played an older ballerina who was struggling to maintain the spotlight from these newer, younger ballerinas who were coming in. And in a way, that role was very, very fitting for her, which leads me to why, if society has or has not forgiven Winona Ryder. In a way, I do think it was both. She was forgiven, but not in the way that forgiveness should usually happen. By the time that she had come back into the industry, she had aged out of the roles that she was used to playing. And like Black Swan, there were now these newer, younger, fresher ballerinas, actresses, who were already ready waiting there to take her place. So she was now, in a sense, this older, without being old, washed out actress. She was forgiven, but she was only allowed to come back in and play roles that the industry allowed her to play, which were now these older roles. Most notably, she was in a Netflix original series Stranger Things. She was actually very much so praised for her performance in that show, and herself and the rest of the cast, they snagged a SAG award for Best Ensemble in 2017. David Simon, the creator of the HBO limited series The Plot Against America, which Winona also started, stated, Winona had the standing of the great American ingenue. Now we're ready for the second act because she's always been a remarkable actor. That quote was courtesy of Vanity Fair. So there you have it. An infamous 90s icon turned thief. Quite a long hiatus for the industry. And however, she is forgiven and is now back playing these older, I don't want to say more appropriate, but the industry deems them more appropriate for her now. So, yeah, thank you so much.